Let's look at education now. Now, the Ghana Education Service has launched an investigation into a viral video showing students of Ghana Senior High School in Tamale using toilet cubicles as dormitories. The video has caused outrage on social media and raised concerns about the safety and well-being of the students. According to the Ghana Education Service, the school has excess capacity to house an additional 300 students, yet some students are forced to sleep in such unacceptable conditions. Northern Regional Correspondent Mutala Issa has been finding out more on this developing story.
Members of the Greater Accra Regional Branch of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association relied on their personal vehicles and in some...
It is the latest development we have on the Ghana Senior High School story. It is a running story that broke towards the weekend by Rainbow Radio, and it is alleged that the school has converted some toilets into school dormitory. The substance of it, we cannot give you details for now, but what we do know is that infrastructure remains one of the biggest challenges facing schools across the northern region. From the basic level through to senior high school, infrastructure is one of the biggest challenges. And I must also indicate that it is not just Ghana School. I'm aware of some other senior high schools within at least the Tamale Metropolis and the Sanarugu municipality, where some students have voluntarily taken up some of these uncompleted infrastructure and are sleeping there and using those places as their dormitories to stay away from their colleagues, where they can concentrate and study. The GES has directed that the headmaster for the Ghana Senior High School step aside to enable investigations to be completed. 2 weeks has been given as the period within which these investigations will be completed. We are not sure what happens after the investigations. What we do know is that, like many senior high schools in the northern region, Ghana School has infrastructural challenges, particularly with regards to accommodation or places where students can comfortably sleep. Mutala Issa for GBC News.
And trust that will bring you anything that's developing in that story from Northern Region. Let's move and look at exploring AI. Workers have been urged to take advantage of advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, which breaks down difficult tasks to enhance flexibility in the corporate world. This will help them to complete complex tasks and enhance productivity without cost outlays. The co-founder of Scans Wyoming USA, Dr. Kirill Mostov, said this at the graduation ceremony of Dominion University College in Accra.
In 2009, Dominion University College holds a dual accreditation from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training. The University Council Chairman, Professor Felix Hammond, said the university is working on opening an artificial intelligence complex on campus to make studies easier. He commended the graduates for defying all odds during COVID-19 and successfully completing their respective programs. He urged the graduates to combine the skills acquired and integrity to make meaningful impact in the corporate world.
What counts most is not the paper certificate that you will receive today. It is not even the grades and classification. It is the extent to which your educational experience has helped you to evolve and mature. It's what your 4 years experience will let you do after today. Your 4 years of education has given you knowledge and skills, but they won't serve you for the rest of your life. The learning skills you have developed are what will advance you and make you fit for the future.
Speaking at the ceremony, the co-founder of Scans Wyoming USA, Dr. Kirill Mostov, urged Ghana to move away from the traditional ways of doing things and invest heavily in artificial intelligence.
As you embark on your careers, you will not only witness but also participate in this transformative journey. You have the unique opportunity to contribute to the development and application of constructive rather than destructive AI in ways that will benefit humanity and reshape the future. To make the most of this opportunity, I encourage you to embrace the following 5 principles. First principle, lifelong learning. The world of AI is evolving at breakneck speed, and the only way to stay ahead of the curve is to commit to continuous learning. Embrace new ideas, technologies, and methodologies, and be prepared to adapt and grow throughout your career.
118 students graduated with bachelor's degree in business administration, banking and finance, theology, and computer science, respectively.
Still on education, at a forum by the Network of Women in Growth Network in Accra, the call was for more girls to venture into professions that are considered to be male-dominated. Participants noted that the percentage of females venturing into the building and construction profession, for example, is very low, and this calls for urgent attention.
Participants at the forum deliberated on how more girls can be attracted into professions that are tagged as male-dominated, with emphasis on the building and construction sectors. The executive director of the Network of Women in Growth Ghana, Madam Maula Wayawuti, said there are several opportunities in the building and construction industry that girls must take advantage of.
As to whether we are taking strategic and key steps to make sure women enter into that sector, I believe that we haven't done enough to encourage more women to venture into that sector. And not just the government, even as a society, even as private sector, are we creating spaces for women to be there? And that is why we still keep shouting and saying that the affirmative action bill should be passed into a law, because it is also one of the laws that we can use to advocate for more women, even in the construction space, in terms of leadership.
A resource person, Madam Ednam Ejayisika, said the decision to venture into professions that are considered to be male-dominated is not easy, but very fulfilling at the end.
I urge them all to come into construction, not necessarily in the area of the field. We have the we have the surveyors, we have the business development, we have the communication aspect of it, we have the architect, we have interior designing, and so they are multi-departmental sector of the construction industry, and so they should come along and let's build the construction industry in Ghana.
A mechanical engineer, Ms. Belinda Akaba, encourage girls to break all the barriers that will stand in their way in their chosen profession.
It's been an amazing one, because even the people that we go and work for, at the end of the day, they also motivate us that we thought it's only men that can do this, but since you guys are doing best, then you guys should just go on, and they give a heads up.
Let's do some health now. Now, the Greater Accra Regional Branch of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has presented 16 motorbikes to the association's district offices. At a brief ceremony, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the association, Mr. Prince Opuni Frimpong, said the motorbikes will facilitate the movement of health personnel in hard-to-reach areas in the capital.
For years, members of the Greater Accra Regional Branch of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association relied on their personal vehicles and, in some cases, commercial transport to conduct official duties within the region. Sometimes, vital health programs such as immunization and vaccination are delayed in remote areas within the capital due to unmotorable roads. To facilitate its work, the Greater Accra Regional Branch of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has procured 16 motorbikes for distribution to its district officers in the Greater Accra region. Presenting the motorbikes to the district executives of the association, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Mr. Prince Opuni Frimpong, said, with the provision of the motorbikes, health personnel can attend to emergencies on time in remote areas. He entreated members to use the motorbikes for the intended purposes.
Let's do some business now. Let's take you to Washington, where the cloud of economic downturn over Africa will ease in the near term, while the bright spots are for governments to maximize the benefits of mineral resources that are carbon efficient, including lithium, cobalt, and copper to prop up growth, create jobs in the value chain, and reduce poverty, says World Bank's chief economist for Africa, Andrew Darbelin. Now, speaking about harnessing natural resources for a sustainable future at the spring meetings in Washington, D.C., Mr. Darbelin was upbeat that domestic reforms by Africa has the potential of raking in revenues to address fiscal issues and transform economies on the continent.
The world is shifting to a transition where that energy is going to come from wind turbines, solar panels, lithium batteries, hydro, and so on and so on. So, the idea is to leave behind burning carbon. But, we think about this as just an energy issue, but it is actually going to lead to massive technological transformations in the world. And so it's really, really important. This is an opportunity for Africa because in a lot of these technologies require minerals that Africans have. Cobalt, manganese, copper, coltan, right? And it's really, really important for African countries to maximize the benefits of this through, first of all, they can just get a lot of revenues from it that will stabilize their fiscal issues. They can use this to transform their economies, create value, create jobs. They can coordinate with each other. So so it is not something they can. We see it coming. It's not something that African countries can just sit back and be on the sidelines, right? This is something they must participate in because it's really crucial.
Let's take you to the foreign front now. A power struggle between Sudan's army and notorious paramilitary force has rocked the country, with more than 50 civilians reported dead. Residents dodged gunfire in the capital, Khartoum, as rival forces battled over the presidential palace, state TV, and army headquarters. 25 people, including 17 civilians, have died in the city. The clashes erupted after tensions over a proposed transition to civilian rule.
Both the army and its opponents, the Rapid Support Forces RSM, claimed they had control of the airport and other key sites in Khartoum, where fighting continued overnight. Heavy artillery was heard in Omdurman, which adjoins Khartoum, and nearby Bari in the early hours of Sunday morning. Eyewitnesses say there were gunfires in the Red Sea city of Port Sudan. At least 56 civilians have been killed in cities and regions around the country, with dozens of military personnel dead. In total, at least 595 people had been injured. 3 employees for the World Food Programme, WFP, a UN body that delivers food assistance to vulnerable communities, were also killed after the RSF and armed forces exchanged fire at a military base in Kapkabiya in the west of the country. The fighting is between army units loyal to the de facto leader, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and the RSF, commanded by Sudan's deputy leader, Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo. Generals have been running Sudan since the coup in October 2021.
Now to an unfortunate incident in UAE. 16 people are dead and 9 others injured after a fire outbreak in a residential building in Dubai. The blaze happened in the Al Ras area, one of the oldest parts of Dubai, which is home to many migrant workers and traders. The fire broke out at the 4th floor of the 5-story building. The Dubai Civil Defense says the fire outbreak was caused by a lack of compliance with building security and safety requirements. The Al Ras area is near the city's gold and spice markets, which are popular tourist attractions. Amongst the dead are 4 Indian and 3 Pakistani nationals. Reports say a watchman from India's Tamil Nadu state had died trying to save residents inside of the building. Investigations into the deadly blaze is underway. Let's do some foreign politics. A former Indian politician convicted of kidnapping has been shot dead live on television along with his brother. Atiq Ahmed, who was under police escort, was talking to reporters when a gun was pulled close to his head in Allahabad. Reports say 3 men who had been posing as journalists quickly surrendered and were taken into custody after the shots were fired on Saturday night. A policeman and a journalist were also injured at the scene.
Showed Ahmed and his brother Ashraf both in handcuffs, speaking to journalists on the way to medical checkup at a hospital seconds before they were both shot. His last words to camera were, "They did not take us, so we did not go." This was in response to a question where he was asked whether he attended his son's funeral, which occurred some days ago. Reports say his teenage son was shot dead by police days earlier. Dozens of cases, including kidnapping, murder and extortion, have been registered against Atiq Ahmed over the past 2 decades. A local court sentenced him and 2 others to life in jail in March this year in a kidnapping case. Ahmed had previously claimed there was a threat to his own life from the police. Following Saturday night's incident, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has ordered a judicial probe into the killings and banned large gatherings in the district of Uttar Pradesh state to ensure peace.
Well, for us who are fasting, it's a few days to the Eid. We want to know how this week the weather will fare starting from today. And our chief meteorologist joins us on the phone lines now. Felicity Ahafiano from GMET. Good morning, Felicity.
Good morning, Maltiti.
We're anticipating a good weather because, you know, the congregational prayers is held outside. So by Friday, Saturday, we're hoping we'll have clear skies. But how is the weather starting for us today?
Good morning to our audience and thanks for having us all. God richly bless you. Good morning. We are having a rainstorm that is pushing through over the eastern coast. So we expect cloudiness to induce cloudiness for western, and then we are having possibility of rain for Accra, Aswa area, Plateau, Cape Coast. And those of us have seen they had their rain in afternoon hours. Hopefully we are expecting them to have mixed conditions. Takwa, we also have some rain for them. Then in the afternoon, we expect the sun to break through. In the evening, we expect those of us in also Sunyani, Wenchik, and Tapu also having 40 to 60% chance of rain. And then those of us over the north, Wa area is also on our radar today, Tamale and Boli. So these places will have rain, but every other areas that I have not mentioned will have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will be 38 for the north, 33, 35 for the middle sector. Along the coast, temperatures will range between 31 and 33 degrees Celsius. For the sea, you still expect it to be rough. We are having rain and thunder clouds over the sea, so fisher folks, they can navigate, but they just have to do it cautiously. For the Volta Lake too, this morning, those of us over the Sogakofe area is not conducive. Those of us over Koporidia, Akosombo to Oti region, Kwame Yeji, we can do our activities by afternoon. We need to pass and then wait for the rainstorm to pass before we set out to continue our activities. So for today, this is how we are expecting it. For Friday, Saturday, I will check it, and then tomorrow I will give it to you so that you can plan your activities.
That's great. Thank you so much. We do hope that we won't have to pray with umbrellas because most of the time the mosque gets overfull on that day. Everybody does go to the mosque to pray on the Eid day. But that's it for GTV Breakfast News. There's more news when you do log on to our website. That's gbcghanaonline.com. It's a Monday, and as usual, we have a great show for you. Up next is Health, World Hemophilia Day. I can't wait to know what that's all about. And then we'll have a discussion on human rights and Ghana's stance and standing on that. And later on, we'll have the award-winning gospel musician Selina Boateng. I'll be back at 7 with sports. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq, and my costume is by No Rush Collections. You can find them on social media.